you want to know what the weather is in Cancun? It's always the same. It's always 82 degrees and sunny and hot and humid.
Welcome to my first vlog and to my room here in Cancun. The room is super cute. I really like this art in it. Would put that in my house for sure. Balcony. I have this lounger chair, bed, and some other beautiful art. A little backstory, I spent the previous year teaching English in Spain, and I was traveling every single weekend almost. And then when I came back, I got a job, wow, that was really loud. I got a job as an office manager at a hedge fund. And at first I was not that far from my house. Then I got moved to New York City, and that turned into a 14-hour day every day. And it took my friends having an intervention with me to realize how unhappy I was, and I decided I don't want to be miserable. Life is too precious to hate it every second of the day. So we are in Cancun. I have so many fun things planned. Tomorrow I'm going to see Chichen Itza, which will be my second world wonder that I've seen. I'm really excited about that. Then I will probably just have a pool day the day after, but after this little Cancun excursion, I am going to Mexico City that I'm really, really excited for. So good. So I woke up at 4:30 a.m. again to catch my 4:30 a.m. tour bus, which we promptly for the next hour and a half just drove around and picked up more and more people until our bus was completely filled. Then we started heading to Chichen Itza. My tour guide, his name was Ramiro. He was awesome. He is Mayan, so he gave us a ton of information about the Mayan culture throughout the whole trip. Like, apparently what month you were born into determined the ideal shape of your head. And they would wear these special caps on their head to actually force their skull to like grow into this shape, which is something I'd never heard of about Mayan culture before. We talked through the Mayan calendar and how all of the math that, went into creating it is reflected on the building of the pyramid, which I thought was really cool. I'd never known that. And before we arrived, I signed up to get my Mayan astrology read. So I picked this up at the end, and it goes into detail about my astrology and who I am as a person. So I think it'd be really, really interesting later to compare and contrast to like the contemporary Western astrology that I know. See how it's similar and different. If you can't tell, I like astrology a little bit. So we arrived at Chichen Itza bright and early. I think it was just past 8 in the morning, and it was interesting because Chichen Itza is like not that far from Cancun, but you pass a time zone line. So we went back in time. I think we went back an hour actually on the way there, which I had no idea. And I realized that food was a part of this tour, but it wasn't until noon. So I got there and I got a hot dog for breakfast, and it was really interesting. It was good, but they put my hot dog with the bun like and microwaved it to get it super hot. I don't think I've ever seen anyone microwave the bun before. But anyway, you go through the little entrance building and get your bag checked, and I ended up paying, I think, 63 pesos to bring my camera in, and I have some beautiful photos from it, and that's about like $3 US, so really not a bad price for that. So after you walk out of the building and you're just kind of in these like campgrounds, like it's just, there's a path you walk on and people are starting to set up everything for the day that they're going to sell. And these people are working their butts off with these giant like crates of things. So I respect the hustle 100%. And as you're walking through these woods, you get a peek of Chichen Itza in the distance, and you step out from under the tree coverage, and all of a sudden you're just like hit with the intensity of the heat at like freaking 8 in the morning, and it's so hot, and you're looking up at this ginormous like jaw-dropping beautiful pyramid. You're like, damn, that's huge. How did they build that? So that was an amazing experience. My second world wonder, the first I'd seen was the Colosseum, and that was, cool because you can see it from so far. It's humongous. You see it, in different streets throughout the city, but this is just like kind of out of nowhere. You can only see it if you go into these woods for the tour. So it was awesome, so surreal. And we got there, as I mentioned, super early, so there were no people, which was great. So we could take pictures with no one in the background. And Ramiro, the guide, told us about how there's actually a flat platform that hasn't been excavated. It's under the surface. And because of how perfectly they calculated all of the dimensions of the pyramid and the platform and all the other structures, you can actually stand at the top of Chichen Itza and talk, just like at a normal speaking level, and everyone in the crowd below you would be able to hear, which I think is really impressive that they were able to calculate and make that insane. So when you're at Chichen Itza, there are always people clapping. People are clapping all the time because you can hear the echo if you're like in line with the pyramid. If you're somewhere else and they're clapping, you're not going to hear it. But when you clap, you can hear the echo, which is really cool. We walked around and there's actually a different big building, which is where the sacrifices happened. And the sacrifices were anything from, chocolate to corn to, people too. We learned about that and how the human sacrifice was an honor. Had no idea that if you were the person being sacrificed, that your family became royalty for the next 7 generations. So it really was an honor because you were being a martyr, so your family could be taken care of. So interesting. After leaving here, we headed to a cenote, which is an underground swimming pool. But first we got to see a Mayan shaman who blessed us. That was really cool, and they use all obsidian tools. And we got to have a chance to look around their obsidian shop. I didn't end up buying anything, but it was really cool. Kind of wish I did. Then I headed to the cenote to relax. First I went without my camera or my phone, and I got in there and regret my choice immediately because it was so beautiful. But I did relax a little bit. I hung out for a while and then I went back to get my phone and take some pictures. But the way I can best describe it is like the light is filtered in and you feel like you're in a sun catcher, like the way the light just like beautifully reflects everywhere. And there are all these vines hanging down in a waterfall. And I felt like I was in this jungle spa, just floating, looking up at all of this, like, wow, this is my life right now. It was insane. It was so surreal. So I went back and took all of these photos and videos after the fact. Then there was a buffet of Mexican food. Delicious. It was all included, which was nice with the tour. I think I paid $80 for this tour and all of this was included, which was great. I ended up also getting a water and a pina colada. None of the drinks were included, but those two together were 220 pesos, so about $11 US, which is not bad at all. Then I took some pictures with a rainbow macaw. I thought this bird was so cute, and it was like funny and not that expensive. I think I paid ended up being like $15 US, but it went right to the cameraman. I think he just pocketed it, so that was funny, a funny memory to have. And before we headed back to the bus, we went to a tequila tasting. This was so impressive. They make all of the tequila there. It's organic and medicinal, so it doesn't have like a ton of ethanol that, normally you take a tequila shot, it burns your throat. This does not do that at all. It's like actually good for you. And they use it like when it's your time of the month. A lot of women take it and it gets rid of all their cramps and everything, especially if like people live high up in a mountain and they don't have access to a pharmacy all the time. This is what they use. And I tried a version that had coconut and walnut. Those two were my absolute favorite. I did not bring a checked bag, so I was like, there's nothing I can do with these. I can't bring them back, but you can only buy them in Mexico. So that was like exciting to try, but also disappointing that I don't know if I'll ever try it again. We had a short stop, our last stop, at the town of Valladolid. Valladolid was never conquered or destroyed by the Spaniards. In fact, they lived in peace together, the Spaniards' minds and the mestizos, the people who are mixed between the two. And they lived there together for a long time, so the old town was in great condition, and there were these beautiful, colorful pastel buildings on every single street. So we explored there for about 20 minutes, and then we headed back. I promptly fell asleep in the bus. I actually fell asleep probably every single time we were in the bus because I was so tired, but the combination of the tequila really knocked me out for the long ride back. And then we got back to Cancun, which, even though I was really excited for yesterday, I was so dead all day. So I was excited to be back in Cancun and take a nap, go to bed. I ended up having a dinner reservation at 7 that I booked the day before, and I thought 7 was going to be like too late because the tour technically was supposed to get back at 5, and I got back into my room at 6:45. I was like, oh good, like not enough time to shower or anything, so I went right over to my reservation. The staff was fantastic. They're so funny, and the drink I got, this passion fruit margarita, fantastic. The food itself was all right. It was good. I'm not gonna go again, but I had a nice little dinner. I got to practice my Spanish. I did embarrass myself because I used the wrong verb. I said, well, he was asking me like why I came alone, and I said that I like to solo travel, and he was like, why? And I was like, in my mind, I meant to say I don't like to wait for anyone to travel, and I actually said I don't like to stay with anyone, like I don't like to stay with my family. And I was like, I've been overthinking that over and over because that's not what I meant. But that's okay. After that, I showered and promptly passed out, which brings us to where we are. It's actually 8:12 in the morning. I'm about to go get ready and see if I can grab some breakfast and one of the chairs right on the beach. So hopefully I can grab one of those. Let's go get ready really quick and then we'll go over together. We've got my book, my purse, sunscreen, camera, and journal. We're gonna head to breakfast. I just spent 4 hours at the beach. It was so nice. I definitely feel like a shade darker. I only had my face sunscreen and I lather that all over my body. So normally I get like a good burn, a decent burn, and then I tan on top of it for the rest of the summer. But I mean, maybe I'll disagree tomorrow. I think I'm just tan, which is so nice. So I'm in the room to freshen up, and then I'm gonna get some lunch and then probably switch it up and lay at the pool for a few hours. Alright, I'm back at the beach. I feel like such an old person when I say this, but the pool is generally so loud. And over here it's nice and quiet, and there's just Bad Bunny in the background. There's not a million kids running around. So yeah, I'm gonna hang out here until I get bored and go shower and nap. Lunch, fine. I think I'm paying, it was like $127 a night here, so that's relatively cheap for an all-inclusive, and you know, the food's fine. I think it reflects that price, but the amenities are great. I really like being under all these palm trees right now, and how nice the pool is, even though I haven't been in it, how pretty the water is, so yeah, can't complain. Just took a shower and put on my outfit for dinner, and I feel like a whole new person. Very happy right now. I'm about to take a nap, and look what I realized. I'm gonna insert a photo. My bed is like not half a foot, a few inches taller than it was when I was here last. I did see them in the hallway with mattresses, but I assumed they were doing it for people who checked out to give them new beds, but turns out I got a new bed. So I'm about to take a nap in my dress like a medieval princess, and I will bring you along with me to dinner. I'm at the Italian restaurant now. It's so cute. I'm trying to figure out what to get. I'm always a carbonara girl, but every time I get it, I'm always just disappointed because it's not the same as when I had it when I was in Rome, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna get. They brought me this cute little thing of bread, and I have some red wine and water. And for dinner, I think I'm gonna start with the tomato soup, the pomodoro cream, and I'm gonna make a game time decision of either the carbonara or maybe getting the tomato ravioli.
Dígame, vea, señorita.
Sí, sí. Voy a empezar con la crema pomodoro
La crema pomodoro, ajá.
y después no puedo elegir. ¿Qué piensas de la carbonara o la ravioles de cenote?
La carbonara está rico.
Ok, carbonara.
Ok. ¿Con qué pasta?
No sé.
Espagueti,
Espagueti.
fettuccine mejor.
Ok, perfecto.
Fettuccine, carbonara. Muchas gracias, bienvenida. Si gusta pasar al servicio de la barra de ensalada, la barra de ensalada está lista. ¿Ok?